Listen, when you write to me, what advice could I give? Should we move from the city to the village or not? What's your personal experience? Listen, I sold my apartment in a city with a population of over 1 million people. I lived in Dnipropetrovsk. In 2014, I sold the apartment, abandoned everything I had, connections, acquaintances, friends, interests, hobbies, absolutely everything I had. I left it and moved to the village, moved to the countryside, bought a house with land because I had the cost of an apartment, a one-room apartment in a Khrushchev-era building. My small apartment was in a residential area, not an elite area, not exactly the center. I sold the one-room apartment on the first floor of a Khrushchev-era building. The price of that apartment was enough for me to buy a house with 4 rooms, a barn, a cellar, a large garage, and a room where the previous owners kept a lot of pigs. 1,000 square meters of land. You see, I got everything I needed when I sold that apartment. So since 2014, I've been screaming at you, please save yourselves and your children. Leave the city. You understand? It's not about what's better in nature, fresh air, organic food, or whether you can barbecue in the evening. That's not the point. You understand? That's not the point. It's about physical survival now. Once again, I know that a huge number of people from different countries and continents are watching me, so I'm addressing you all without any specifics. To everyone watching, what's happening in Ukraine right now is a pilot project, a test run for globalists. I repeat, trigger points, pain points. They're testing technologies, psychotronic weapons. They're testing how much self-abuse people can tolerate. They're seeing where the limits of these painful trigger points lie. You see, this is a project. After the experiment is over, and it's already coming to an end, because basically everything is already clear what will happen, how it will happen, and where it will take place. After the experiment is over, certain adjustments will be made so that this experiment, which will then be implemented worldwide, is implemented simultaneously worldwide. Not just in one isolated place, but globally. This needs to be done so that it doesn't drag on for years. It needs to be done so that this experiment essentially takes place within 6 months, and so that people don't rebel, so that they take to the barricades, so that they quietly, silently accept the mockery being inflicted upon them. Look at what's happening with our climate. What an abnormal heat wave we're experiencing. Look at how people are going crazy because during this same abnormal heat wave, people's electricity is being cut off. There's no basic ability to even live comfortably. It's not about comfort. The problem is that there are small infants who have a hard time with the heat. There are elderly people who have a hard time with the heat. Food is spoiling, people are broke, they're throwing their last money away on generators, and yet they're raising the price of gasoline. A bill was passed today to increase the excise tax on gasoline, meaning gasoline will go up, which means food, logistics, and so on will go up again. They're currently testing how this will work in Ukraine, and then it will spread everywhere. Understand that winter is coming soon. Soon we will move from the phase of everyone feels hot, everyone feels miserable, to the phase of everyone feels cold and what to do about it, how to save yourself from the cold, how to heat your homes. What should we do about it? How do we protect ourselves from the cold? How do we heat our homes? They're preparing a global blackout. A global power outage means that you, the people living in apartments, won't be able to heat your concrete kennels. You won't be able to get water because the waterfall, the substation, the pumping stations will stop, and you won't have any water at home. Your toilet will immediately become clogged, the sewer system will all start to pile up. Your utilities will stop working, and huge piles of garbage will start to appear. Rats will appear carrying all sorts of bacteria, and other infections will appear. Understand that this is just a big global experiment. So you need to leave, give up everything, give up your interests and hobbies. Oh, my child goes to an art club, so it doesn't matter where he goes. You need to think about what your child will eat in 6 months. You should look for an alternative to the refrigerator, without which you can't store food in the summer. In a village, a simple cellar could be used. You should have your own plot of land so you don't have to rely on the supermarket for food, but rather be able to preserve enough food to last you all year. It doesn't have to be large. It doesn't have to be 10, 20, or 30 hectares. That's all nonsense. A couple of 100 square meters of land will be enough for you, so you don't have to preserve enough food for the whole year, so to speak. You see? You could start a small farm. 5 chickens, 5 geese, a turkey, and a goat. It's enough. You don't need more. Do you understand? It's about survival. People here are simpler, which means you can communicate with people on a more basic level, that's all. There's no point in giving your children an elite education right now. And who cares about all that education anyway? There's no question now of living comfortably with modern gadgets, devices, and so on. If the lights go out, all that junk will turn to junk. It's just that for now, you're still getting light. You're still being given the opportunity to somehow get by. Look, power outages have started in Russia. Supposedly something's happening at the nuclear power plants. You're already being tested, Russians. You're being tested. The heat is already scorching you, and you're starting to be tested. There are water problems from various floods, and your dams have been eroded by the icebergs. Flooding has started, and then there are whole new water problems in this region. Now they're starting to turn off your power. The same abnormal heat is going on. The same problems are happening with passive ones in the fields. Farmers complain about the soil temperature being 65 degrees. They take thermometers with long probes, stick them into the soil, and say, look, 7 centimeters down, the temperature is 65 degrees. Everything's burning. You see, well, it's simple. What's happening, I repeat, isn't about comfort. When people write to you, oh, I'm get used to the city, what will I do in the village? What will you do in your apartment when you have no water? When shit is pouring out from everywhere, how will you cope? Where will you get water when there simply isn't any? Where will you even get food? Are you going to expect social services to bring you anything? Volunteers? Maybe Carlson, who lives on the roof, will bring it all to you. Don't think about comfort, understand? Don't think about comfort. I'll say it again. The issue now is physical survival. Think about how to have some alternative sources of light, like a generator. At least one solar panel so you can charge something. At least some kind of phone so you can stay in touch with loved ones. Guys, something very serious is happening. What's happening now, in particular, I'll say it again, in Ukraine, is a global experiment in suppressing the people's consciousness. An entire nation, a large, enormous nation, the largest country in Europe, is now undergoing an experiment in suppressing that consciousness. Everyone should be scared, emaciated, despondent, crushed, and incapable of resistance. Whatever they offer you, that's what you have to eat. Tomorrow they'll tell you the price of $1 at 100 hryvnia. When it's 40 today, you say, okay, as long as it's good. Yesterday, everyone was upset that the price of electricity had doubled and ours costs 4 and a bit. But today, everyone's forgotten about the cost of electricity. Everyone dreams of just being able to turn on a fan and cool down a little, or even do a little laundry because you're dripping wet and your clothes are instantly soaked and then they stink. They all need to be washed, but everyone's forgotten how to wash without washing machines. Many people simply don't have running water in their apartments. It's good at home. I have a well, and some people have a borehole. I'll get, a filter, water purification tablets, and we'll go to the river 500 meters away, and I'll collect big barrels of water, purify it, filter it, and then you can use the water, drink it, cook with it, and eat. What are you going to do with all this in the city? You understand that people who live in cities first and foremost, and only then those who live in rural areas and the like, will go crazy and lose their humanity. Just look at how many reminders you're being fed in movies, cartoons, The Simpsons, and other such nonsense. Look at what they're preparing for us. Finally look at it. Wake up. Turn off your idiotic TVs. Who still thinks this is happening in a particular region and everything will be fine for us? It will be too late for the sake of the children. Once again, it's a question of survival. Run away from the cities. Run away from the cities. Because it will be too late. Now you have the opportunity to sell your apartment for a good price and buy a very nice house. And don't regret anything. I repeat, I did it. I sold my apartment. I'm a 100% city dweller with over 1 million people living in the city, and I sold it. And now live in the countryside. Yes, it's not easy. Yes, it's hard. Yes, many things don't work out. It will probably never work out because I haven't learned it. I haven't been trained. Yes, that's how it is, you see. I look at social media. I see women crying, men swallowing tears from the hopelessness of what's happening. And I just want to scream in their ears. People run away from the cities. It's easier in the villages. Things will be better in the village, even if the power goes out completely tomorrow. They'll never turn it back on. If there's no water, we'll still survive. If supermarkets close, they're already closing because there's no way to refrigerate perishable goods. And they're now completely removing them from the shelves. Because they're perishable. They're being removed from the shelves. Stores, supermarkets in Dnipro, for example, are half empty because perishable goods don't keep well. You can't eat them. You could get food poisoning. They lose their marketability. No one buys them. And the supermarkets are already half empty. Things get worse. And believe me, the situation won't improve in winter. Winter will bring a new disaster, which is what I advise you to prepare for. So, once again, flee the cities and go to the villages. Create your own mode of life. This can all be done in 2 months. By and large, there is still time. It's only July, but I'm not calling for anything. In any case, these are just thoughts out loud. Maybe I'm wrong 1,000 times, and God willing it will be so. God willing, that tomorrow everything will end and we will begin to live happily, joyfully, and prosperously. God willing, but I have a bad feeling about this. Be well, everyone.